Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. The Yankees lay an egg in Miami. And does this team have a backbone? We've got highlights. We got Aaron Boone's post-game conference. It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York sports for New York nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go!
It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports Talk with Sports Nuts. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and YouTube.
Well, the New York Yankees do what the New York Yankees do. They take the dart out, they lick that son of a bitch, and they throw it at the old dartboard, and they go, how are we going to lose the game tonight? Hey, Jim, how should we lose the game tonight? Hey, what about the bullpen? Nah, that's too easy. We did that last night. Hey, how about no effort and no hitting at all? You know what? That's a great idea. We'll do that. Because the Yankees are inventing ways to lose. What the Yankees just did today was the equivalent of getting your ass kicked at the local watering hole, and that's a bar for you young guys. In your local town, you get your ass kicked in front of your girl, you show up the next day to the bar and buy that guy a beer and say sorry. Because that's exactly what the New York Yankees did today in Miami, showing up absolutely lifeless, without a pulse. And the number one guy on the list today is Jazz Chisholm. Now, me and Jazz Chisholm, if you didn't see on Instagram, that's New York Minute Sports, NEWYRKMIN. Go over there. I'll have some clips too. Jazz Chisholm, it got to the point where he sent me a voice message on Instagram, and we got into it because I saw him in a hip-hop video rapping in a studio, and I wrote to him, "You're hitting 230, get in the cage, enough of the hip-hop videos." Jazz Chisholm proceeded to get into my comments and slide into my DMs for the next 2 weeks unprovoked. The reason I bring this up is because I wound up telling Jazz after 2 weeks of this correspondence, the fact that you're responding to me and the fact that I have access to you is my point exactly. This team is on their phone too much. This team has their head in the clouds. And this team kind of treats playing for the Yankees like having a restaurant job, where they show up, you kind of give a half-ass effort because you know you're going to make a shitload of money that night too. You smile a couple of times, you go, okay, and you leave. While the product that you're giving out and the restaurant that you work for is a shithole. Because that's what the Yankees on the road this year have become. They are 6 games below 500 on the road this year. And guess what? As I'm speaking to you right now, the Yankees are in 3rd place. I repeat, the Yankees, as of this video, are in 3rd place. Are you happy with this? Because I'm not. I didn't make a single post on Instagram today because I've had it, man. I can't waste any more breath on these dudes. I put in more effort, and you guys at home put in more energy and more effort into this team than the guys on the field. If I had my way, this is the guys that I would keep. I would keep Aaron Judge, obviously, Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice, Jason Dominguez. Get rid of everybody else. These other guys aren't winning players and have their head in the clouds. Anthony Volpe, Jazz Chisholm, Austin Wells. The list goes on and on from bonehead plays all year long, and they don't correct anything. And the thing about that is Aaron Boone is that problem. When your team consistently makes the same mistake over and over and over, that means there's a problem with the messaging. I've been telling you guys since the beginning of the season that Aaron Boone's voice has been lost in this locker room. You know, they fired Joe Girardi after losing Game 7 of the ALCS to a much better Astros team, and they let Aaron Boone keep his job after the World Series loss last year when multiple moves that he made cost the Yankees the World Series, and base running mistakes and defensive miscues and head in the clouds kind of play from the Yankees last year in the World Series. It's the same exact thing this year. It's almost worse. And no, actually, it's worse. It is worse this year. I need to really come to terms with all this shit because I'm living in La La Land too. And I can hear the pain in Paul O'Neill's voice on the broadcast is because like a dude like that, who was one of my favorite Yankees growing up, who would, tackle the water cooler and, but I'm not saying that's right, but the guy gave a shit. Paul O'Neill cared. You could tell that he cared. You can tell Garrett Cole cares. You can tell Aaron Judge cares. You can tell somebody like Ryan McMahon, who's been here for 2 minutes, he cares. You can tell who cares, and you can tell who's collecting a paycheck. Jazz Chisholm is collecting a paycheck. Jazz Chisholm fills up his days in the middle of it with baseball, and then he goes home, he designs purses, he makes hip-hop videos, and he does what he wants. Jazz Chisholm, okay, you cannot extend this guy. I do not want him on this team. He is a microcosm of what's wrong with this team. Head in the clouds, flashy bullshit. And also, you change the facial hair policy for Devin Williams in the beginning of the season, and you start changing all these things for these fucking guys. You know what? It's starting to become the curse of the facial hair, bro. As soon as you change that, these Yankees have been funky as shit this year. And you know what? George Steinbrenner, yes, I'm gonna evoke the name of the king, George Steinbrenner, who is turning around in his grave. You know the Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009. Do you know that George Steinbrenner died in 2010? We're coming up on 15 years of no championships since George Steinbrenner died. I'm not one into curses, but if you have seen the Yankees play this way this season, the Yankees look like they're cursed. Everything that they do, whenever they get above water and they start to tread water, they take a cinder block and they throw it on their fucking head and they sink themselves every time. If the Yankees get swept tomorrow, they are going to get swept down in Texas. I'm talking about both series. The Rangers are playing much better, and the Houston Astros have eaten the Yankees' lunch for the last 8 years. So on the heels of this, the Yankees are 26-13 in series where they win the last game of the series. So they do have a good record doing that. I'm not going to shit on that. But here, look, this is the Jazz play. Look at the Jazz play. So he probably thought it was an infield fly rule where it was going to be an automatic out. The umpire does not call it, so he gets thrown out at first base. I mean, listen, man, The guy's fun to watch and shit. But do you see his numbers? The guy's got 49 home runs. We're in August. Like, everyone says that these guys are good and shit like that. And then you look at their fucking numbers, and it's like 17 and 55. When I was a kid growing up, during the steroid era in the 90s, or even in the 80s, if a guy had numbers like that with 45 RBIs in the month of fucking August, he might be out of baseball, dude. Like, the bar has been lowered so much in baseball, and I look around, and I know I hold the Yankees to a different kind of standard. But you know what? The rest of baseball sucks too. There are no juggernauts. There are no, even the Dodgers, and I even said that. Everyone's like, oh, the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. Bullshit, they are. The New York Yankees, when they acquired Mark Teixeira, Gary Sheffield, Alex Rodriguez, and they made that juggernaut of a team, you thought that they were going to win every single year. That squad, that Gary Sheffield squad, Mark Teixeira, they didn't win anything. They didn't win until 2009, until they got pitching, because the Yankees didn't have pitching for years and years. But the rest of the Major League Baseball, it looks terrible, guys. I've been looking over the fence and looking at the highlights and looking at the standings, and it's awful. But the Yankees are a third-place team right now. So the fuck does that mean? Like, I meant by an identity crisis the other night on this show is that I keep thinking that we think that this is the Yankees, and it's not. This, just because they wear the uniform, guys, this doesn't mean that, they're going to be coming back and winning games and playing fundamental defense and working hard and doing any of that shit. That the only guys I told you I see that from out of our young guys is Ben Rice and Jason Dominguez. Those are the guys that actually have their head in the game, and they don't have their head on a million different things. Schlittler did well today. There's, I would show you highlights, but there's nothing to fucking show you. So let's go to Aaron Boone's post-game press conference, because this actually, let's talk about that real quick. Aaron Boone was seen taking Jazz Chisholm into the hallway. He didn't take him out of the game after getting thrown out at first, and then he proceeded to chew out the first base coach. If you ask me, the first base and the third base coach have done a terrible job this year to begin with, but Aaron Boone starts chewing out the first base coach. But you know what? I'd like you to – I don't know what happened in the hallway, but maybe he did chew Jazz out. But, Jazz needs a fucking wake-up call, and this whole team does. But by the time they get a wake-up call, it's going to be over, and they're going to be a third-place team on the outside looking in. So let's go to the Aaron Boone post-game press conference.
They brought in the pen, were really efficient, and just, as good as we were yesterday offensively, there wasn't much there today.
And that's what I was saying with the dartboard of how we're going to lose today. Bullpen blows it last night. Today, 3 innings, 3 shutout innings. Looked great. Then what they do is they don't hit, and they don't play with any spirit, and they have their head in the clouds.
Talk about that first inning. Stanton crushed the ball. Were you okay with the send of Grisham there?
I mean, I think it was a little aggressive, but I understand the 2-out situation there, and you're forcing a good throw. That said, it was, an accurate throw. He's going to be out, but with 2 outs, probably a little too aggressive, but, I understand the rationale.
I have no problem with Trent Grisham being aggressive there. In fact, I always get on his case for being a little lackadaisical in the outfield and kind of being the cool guy in school and having senioritis. But Trent Grisham has been playing his balls off this year. He has been a godsend for this team. He's not going to be here next year, and I would complain about the development and the lack thereof and kind of stunting the growth of the young guys. But at this point, Trent Grisham is a gamer. He shows up every day. You don't hear a peep from him, and I like his mentality. He's a little too cool for school, but, I'm a dude doing a YouTube show with wearing glasses inside, so who am I to say?
What was Jazz doing in the second?
So he saw Edwards looking at him and thinking, I'm going to swap out the base runner by letting it fall. So he was trying to pressure him a little bit, and that if he did, he knows how it bounces on this to put him in a position to advance. But clearly too far out there, can't get caught there. I have no issue with the initial pressure because I understand infielders will try and swap you out. But you got to know exactly where you are to be able to get yourself back safely.
looked like you went down then, down in the kind of below the dugout there to speak to Jazz. What did you say to him in that situation?
Yes, between he and I.
And then very visibly, you were talking to Chapman in the dugout. What was that conversation?
Yeah, again, just wanting to make sure, how we're communicating there. And, so, obviously not a play you want to have happen.
Did you feel like Chapman did not communicate to Jazz effectively in that spot?
No, I think all the cues are there for that.
It was good. You know what? I get on Boone a lot. It was good to see him choose somebody out. That's twice in the dugout, holding somebody accountable. I think Boone starts to feel that noose or that seat starting to heat up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I got to admit, I've been so pissed I haven't even asked you a question yet, but I've just been steamrolling this episode. But like I said, I'm not... I'm kind of done screaming and yelling about this shit. And today, well, I say that for the next 5 minutes, but, I'm just getting sick and tired of just yelling about the same thing. I could put out, sometimes I could put out the same episode over and over and talk about the same shit. It was just like, oh, let's pick out where they play poor defense. Let's pick out where they have their head in the cloud. What episode was that? And I could just repackage that. But we don't repackage anything here at New York Minute. New York Minute Sports for New York Nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how you're feeling. I'm here for you guys. I love you guys. You support me. All I can do is support you back in this time of need because the Yankees are literally ripping my soul out of my nose every single night.
Is there any consideration of benching Jazz?
No.
Why?
It's a guy trying to make a play. Like, I get it looks bad and it's a bad play, but it's not a case of a guy that's, dogging it or like it's just trying to make a play.
He does ask him, why did you not consider benching Jazz? I don't think that's a benchable offense. Aaron Boone's explanation of why Jazz was doing it, what his thinking behind it was, the infield fly rule, the way the ball's going to bounce off the turf because he has played in Florida before. You know what? I mean, he played there for a few years, but being at first base, but he tried to get too cute. So it was Jazz trying to benefit the team, but it looked bad when it went bad. So yeah, it's not a benchable offense for Jazz, but he's got his fucking head in the clouds like usual. He's worried about his flair and his fucking drip and his cleats and what his custom purses that he's going to wear after the fucking game.
And, just because it's going bad right now and the world's on fire, I'm not just going to take guys out for giving a crap.
Aaron, what is your standard for taking a guy out of the game? Is it dogging it?
Yeah, I mean, when I see an effort that's not right, that's not, and that could be a guy that I feel like is not hooked up on it in the proper way, from a focus standpoint. It's not always, or if something's happened repeatedly, like getting caught running to first and getting caught a couple times where, hey, I need more, or if I've had a conversation with someone, I need more in certain situations and it doesn't happen, then that rises to it.
Travis, do you feel like the communication has been an issue there, like with a couple plays of late, like the Wells thinking that was a third out? Do you feel like
no, the Wells third out is no, that's as good as it gets. The only thing I was saying is, could we have yelled louder to, like, if once he got into the danger zone, like if you feel that danger zone, like being real adamant, that's all.
Aaron, brutal one last night. Obviously not the result you wanted today. There have been mistakes over the last couple of weeks that we've talked about. Do you feel like there is a sense of urgency with this team right now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think we want it bad, but when you don't win games, you're going to pick out little things that you don't do right. And that's where we got to make sure we're handling all our business. I still feel like we have a chance to be an excellent team, but.
Well, it's not matching on the field, Aaron. I think we want it bad. Well, you didn't show that to me today, man. I could have been on my phone for 9 innings today, and I wouldn't even known a baseball game was played the way that you guys showed up today. And don't give me this really good pitching bullshit. You can work counts. You can work at bats more. These guys were half asleep. You know what? Listen, man, I'll leave you with this. I've been to South Beach over 20 times. I love South Beach, okay? There's a lot to do there other than play baseball. And if you don't think these young guys are maybe going to the Clevelander, till late at night, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn, okay? So you got a 4 o'clock game after getting their teeth knocked in last night, which is a pretty late game. Let's say if you go out to the club until about 4 a.m. and then you got to wake around for a 4 o'clock game, you might kind of sleepwalk through the next game. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think the Yankees were out partying last night? Think that contributed to what's going on? Or are they just a shitty fucking team? Because I think you can take a little from column A and column B, but guess what? You know how everyone always says, I'm done with these guys. Yeah, we know that you're going to be back next game tomorrow, Sunday. I'm going to be back right here, New York Minute, NEWYRKMIN. That's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports for New York Nuts, folks. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Bye.